It's Thursday the 18th of January 2018 and I'm back here in Blackpool at the Pleasure Beach to have a look at the latest construction taking place on Icon. Alex?
Oh God.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
You've gone to see Icon.
Me too, yeah, let's go, shall we?
That was so not planned, was it? How are you?
Alright, yeah, I'm good.
So yes, we're back in Blackpool. It's a wet and windy day. What's your head? You got lights on the
2018 and the weather's great, isn't it? Great start. You were in Dubai last week.
I know, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, we're back here on the promenade in Blackpool to have another perimeter walk around the public areas around the outside of Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's been about a month since I was last here and hopefully we're going to see some work taking place. Obviously there is only a few weeks to go now until the opening of Pleasure Beach. Oh my God, look at my hair. Until the opening of the park. So we'll also have a look at some of the maintenance taking place. I believe there's been a bit of painting taking place on the big one. And obviously we've had the sad news recently about the closure and removal of the wild mouse at the park. So we'll have a little walk around the perimeter from the public accessible areas and see what we can see from inside the park. So to start off our Icon update, we made our way round towards the Blackpool Pleasure Beach train station and we walked up to the Red Bridge just there where you can get a really nice view inside of the park. At this point it started off quite quiet for around 10 or 15 minutes and then all of a sudden we heard a crane noise coming from the park and then this support structure was revealed to us. I mean, we were quite gobsmacked to see anything really happening because it looked really quiet at the site and then this support came up and after a little closer inspection we realised that this was actually one of the main support columns for the airtime hill which is going to run underneath through the big one support structure and that started to go into place. So you can see over the next minute or so just here that being lowered down. You'll see some workmen in a second on a genie just there that were examining a piece of track that had got into place we believe that morning just before we'd arrived, and you can see that just there, part of the bottom of that airtime hill and the drop before the incline loop, and you can see just there them tightening up the support. So at this point we was quite hopeful that we were going to see a piece of track for Icon, and luckily just about 30 minutes later after a trip to Wetherspoons and back for some lunch we started to see a piece of track being raised up, and that's what you can see in the next piece of footage just here. Okay, so after seeing the support going in just literally 10 minutes later, and we're now seeing a piece of track suspended in the air there, being lifted into place onto the support that was put into place just there. Wow, I can't believe that we're seeing this. How do you feel, Alex, just seeing this go into place?
I was thinking in my head you raised me up as we were bringing it up to the skies, and to see it being lowered down now and being secured into place. I'm sure there'll be a genie rise up any second now to sort of come and put that into place, but my goodness, to see it and actually be here and to think, you know, not just now seeing it in person, but thinking 20 years from now, we'll always remember that time we were here and we saw that piece of track being installed here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. That's incredible.
Just trying to get it lined up there by the looks of it. Obviously it's a very you know, complex piece of track, obviously passing underneath the big one, and excuse the pun, but it's one of the most iconic parts of the construction, passing through the lift hill of the Pepsi Max big one.
I can't not believe you just made that pun.
Steel meets steel, look at that.
Takes a bit of time to get it lined up right, but it's going to look incredible. It's a here comes a genie now as well to install it.
So here we can see the workman coming up now on a cherry picker next door, coming to help put that piece of track into place. He's got his hand on it, just helping get that track lined up. Bear in mind, it is quite a windy day here in Blackpool today as well, so fair play to the guys on the Icon construction. Blackpool over winter's not the nicest place to be, especially when you're up at about 50 feet building a roller coaster.
Exposed to the weather conditions completely up there, aren't you? Piece of history going in right now.
There they are, getting that lined up. Obviously they're going to try and connect that in the bottom there first before lowering it down on the crane and onto the support. So you can see there, literally 5 minutes later, 5 minutes ago that piece of track was being lifted into place. It's now getting all lined up there. There's the workman making sure that's joined together. You can see it just resting nicely there on top of the support. Wow. months' time we're going to be on the front row of that thing and passing underneath the big one, all them ride interactions on the UK's first double launch roller coaster. And there it is, the Airtime Hill. In terms of the ride, that'll take place just after the first LSM launch. You'll make your way into that hill, down the drop where the workmen are now, and up into the incline loop. So after around 30 minutes of watching that piece of track being installed, you can just see here the guys fastening that last bit together to the piece of track that you saw a couple of minutes ago. At this point we decided to make a walk round towards the Big Blue Hotel and get a few different angles on the new piece of track and the support that have been installed so far today. You can see just there another little zoom in from opposite the big one's drop. Actually, that was taken from on the promenade, where you can get a really good look inside of the park. Moving on then just here, a little bit further down the prom, and another little zoom in where you can see that track. Gives you a good idea of how much airtime you're going to get before making your way down that drop and passing through the big one support structure. And to end the update, you can just see here a few general pieces of maintenance that are going on all around the Pleasure Beach at the moment. You saw a cherry picker there at the entrance to the ticket centre. Here you can see the big one's track, which is undergoing a repaint. Flying machines over there as well, with some scaffolding up and a bit of work taking place. And then the final bit of work we can see from outside the park was some scaffolding at the top of the suspended looping coaster, Infusion. And we end this update with a little look at the Mack Rides car all the way from Germany. Back in the car then now after a really nice few hours here in Blackpool, looking at the construction of Icon and seeing that Airtime Hill going in. It was fantastic, wasn't
Absolutely, mate. It was so cool to see. I mean, it's freezing cold, it's a Thursday, the weather's miserable, but it hasn't stopped us, has it?
It's been worth coming down here, well worth the track up to come and see it, and I'm sure it won't be too long before I'm next back up here for another update on Icon, the brand new Mack Mega Coaster opening here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Just sitting here outside the big one and looking out and seeing that now, it is incredible, it really is. So thank you very much for watching us for another video here on the channel. Of course, make sure you stay tuned for all the latest Icon construction updates, and of course we're going to be going in there in just a few weeks time when the park opens for Wow Weekends. I'm very excited.
Wow, what more can I say?
Yeah, I'm sure Alex is very excited, and we'll see you soon for another video. Thank you very much for watching, and that means it's time to cue those credits. See you later, guys.